Welcome to the Radiate Wellness Podcast. I'm your host, Christy Clemens Hoffman. Each week we will discuss tools, tips, and ways to radiate your best life ever, interviewing practitioners, authors, and luminaries to help you on your path. Wellness, joy, peace, abundance. What do you want to radiate? Hi, this is Christy, your host for the Radiate Wellness Podcast. And on behalf of the other Radiate Wellness practitioners and myself, we hope you're enjoying this podcast. Every week there's something new and different to be informative, to hopefully inspire you, and to let you know what's available and out there that you can radiate in your life. But we have 3 asks for you. Just 3 simple asks. Really very easy. First, wherever you're listening, however you're listening, right now, whether it's on Apple Podcasts on your iPad, maybe YouTube on your phone, or maybe Google Play on your Android device, however you're listening to us, wherever you're listening to us, please just hit the subscribe button or follow button or whatever it is on whatever you're listening on. Just hit that button that lets you know when we're going to have a new episode out and when that's published. So thanks for that. The second ask, and also while you're listening right now, you don't even have to get up. Just wherever you can, leave maybe 5-star review. Or maybe just a few words of, hey, this is a great podcast. I really enjoy it. Great guest, yada, yada, yada. So whatever you're listening on, wherever you're listening, just, however you can give us a thumbs up, a like, whatever it is. We'd appreciate that. So the first 2 asks have to do with helping others to find our podcast. So when someone goes to their favorite platform for podcasts, and believe me, podcasting is really huge right now. But when we have more likes, more subscribes, more listeners, then it helps people find us. So if they're looking for wellness, if they're looking for just ways to live better, to think better, to do better, be better, then they'll find us a lot more easily. Now the third ask. The third ask is going to ask just a little bit more of you, but honestly not much, and that is to tell your friends. So your friends, your neighbors, your coworkers, your babysitter, your mail carrier, your dog walker, you get the idea. But just tell people about the Radiate Wellness Podcast. Whenever the conversation turns around to podcasting, then you can just drop us in. Or just let them know, hey, I discovered this new podcast that we really enjoy. So just let your friends know. Better yet, show them how to find us. Take their tablet, their phone, their device, whatever. May I? And then boop, boop, boop. Find our Radiate Wellness Podcast and show them how to listen. If we do those 3 things, if everyone did those 3 things, we would more than double our audience. And more people would be able to be inspired and informed by our podcast. Hi, we're here to radiate manifesting change with Denise O'Malley, who is in Colorado and who's with You Define Wellness, which is a really exciting new thing here on the holistic wellness front. Welcome, Denise.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm so delighted to be here this morning.
Thank you. So happy to have you. So please tell us a bit about You Define Change. I am just really excited about this. So can you tell us a bit about what it is?
So You Define Wellness is a new employee benefit program in the marketplace. And my background is as a reformed insurance agent. That's how I like to describe myself. I'm not a healer myself, although all of my healers beat me up for that. Every time I say it, it seems like, because they know, yes, you are. You're healing businesses.
Oh, right.
And I set out to create an employee benefit program that would empower people to access and pay for the wellness services of their choice through their paychecks. Mm-hmm. And it was mostly because I'd heard for 20 years people telling me at an employee benefit enrollment meetings, oh, I wish I could pay for massage through my paycheck, or I wish I could pay for my fitness through my paycheck, or whatever it was. And I happened to know how to do it. And so I did.
That's really exciting. I know that as a Reiki practitioner, hypnotherapist, and all the stuff that I do, people always ask me, do you take insurance? And I had to say, sadly, no, insurance is not caught up with what I do yet. And
Nor do you want it to be. Just let me say that. Nor do you want it. Nor do you want it to be.
That's true. Nor do you want it to be. But it's kind of nice to have this type of benefit for employees that does recognize that there's more to wellness than just traditional Western conventional medicine. And might I add that the conventional medicine that we have is not necessarily traditional.
Yeah. It's not. It's the new medicine, isn't it?
It is the new medicine, right? So so I see why you decided that there is a need for this, and but we can all see a need for things, but not necessarily step up to take care of that need. So what really inspired you to get started with this?
Well, it was a little voice in my head. I stepped out of the insurance world very abruptly, and it was literally waking up at 3:30 in the morning being nauseous with the thought of going to work that day.
Oh my God.
And it had been building for a long time, and this little voice in my head said, you need to save your soul, and you need to leave now. It's killing you. And so I listened, and I did. And it was a couple of days later in a meditation. And I'm one of those who I jokingly, but it's not really a joke, say that I own meditation for dummies. Because this was my go-to that I was learning to go to, is to get centered and within. And especially when you're anxious and it's the month of December and Christmas is coming up and you just quit abruptly and you don't have a backup plan and you're the breadwinner of the family. And it was in a meditation a couple days later where I just heard the words, you know what you need to do. You have the skills and experience to do it. Go do it. And it was to follow this idea of finding a way for people to access and pay. At the time, it was just for massage therapy, but have them pay for it through their paychecks. And it actually evolved. That's not what we do anymore. It evolved because I started getting to know the wellness community and the healers of the world and listening to them as to what they needed, what they wanted, what their clients wanted. I listened to the consumers. And so it's an employer-sponsored plan, but we integrate not just access to the services of your choice, but education in the workplace. So we're bringing in our professionals who have created classes to come in and educate people about the different options, because I think the one reason why people don't seek alternative or holistic care, and we like to call it health and wellness care, but the reason why they don't seek it is because they really don't understand it, because we've trained them very well to turn to their medical plan if anything's wrong with them. And they're frustrated with that now because they're not getting the solutions that they wanted, but they don't know where to go or how to even begin. And so that's what we're bringing to the workplace, is to sit side by side with that medical plan, not replace it. And it's not for ongoing medical care. It's just to get them experiencing different modalities. And we have 130 modalities on our plan. I didn't know there were that many when I started out.
There are a lot.
There are a lot. And I'm learning about new ones every day.
Every day. And it's amazing that they can all find a place in this insurance plan.
Well, it's not insurance. I have to be very clear about that.
Thank you.
The state departments of insurance would have a problem with me proclaiming that. So we are not an insurance plan. We are an employer subsidized plan.
Thank you. Thank you. That is an important distinction. Very important distinction. And so it sounds like you were kind of in this holistic world anyway. You were practicing meditation. You at least knew about the benefits of Reiki. So what were you doing before you made this switch, besides being in insurance? I mean, were you always in insurance? Just kind of...
Always in insurance. My entire career has been in the insurance industry.
Oh
but I married a massage therapist. Corporate America married woo-woo hippie guy that I met at a bar someplace. A long-haired hippie dude. And over 20 some odd years of marriage now, I think we're at 24 years of marriage. I can't believe I don't know that off the top of my head. He kind of rubbed off on me, and I started exploring my own spirituality. And I also had a really good friend that I knew when I lived in California. She had moved to Colorado, then shortly thereafter I moved here. And I used to think that I was her grounding person, because she was into some of this weird stuff like drumming and Reiki and all these different things. And I used to think that I was her grounding on this planet, and come to find out that no, she was my entrance into awakening and understanding. So even though we launched the company with the premise of alternative and holistic healthcare, I knew 3 or 4 practitioners, and that was it. My husband, the massage therapist, a Reiki practitioner in his office, a nutrition coach, my chiropractor. I didn't have a universe of healers to tap into. But once I started talking and putting myself out there and going to networking meetings, I found that there were a lot of them out there who I attended those meetings, and every one of them were like, oh my gosh, this is exactly what we've needed. It's what I've always dreamed of. And it took off by wildfire, and they started telling their friends who told their friends who told their friends. And I'm probably on 10th or 20th generation of referrals from a single source, just because of all this word of mouth. And at least once a week, I hear from someone who contacts me and says, I heard about you from so-and-so, and I don't even know who so-and-so is. So I know they're talking about us out there. Our mission, because we don't have the deep, big bucks of those companies that advertise on TV for wellness type options, is it has to be by word of mouth to let them know that there is a movement going on and we're creating change.
Oh, that is so exciting. And I know that since I first heard about you and You Define Wellness, and that such a thing even existed, I've been telling everybody I know, and everyone's excited, so excited, because I think this is long overdue.
Oh, that warms my heart. Especially as we're going nationwide. And last week I was on the global stage. I was invited to talk about You Define Wellness at the Global Workplace Wellness Summit, because the organizers from Canada, Australia, England, and the United States heard about us and realized that there was no one in the world doing what we're doing. Yeah. So they contacted me and asked if they could interview me. So it is starting to spread. And because of that event, we're actually going nationwide, and we're launching a new product so that individuals and I know. Can you believe it? I'm launching another product. Oh my gosh. But we need to have a way for individuals, retirees, and the self-employed to participate. Right. So we're launching on June 1st a healthy living savings card that will be discounts on wellness products and services, and it will be worldwide. We have people in other countries who are interested. They can work with anyone anywhere in the world, and they want to be a part of what we're building. So it's exciting.
That is so exciting. Did you even fathom that this would be?
No. No, I had a meeting yesterday where I was talking about the journey of You Define Wellness and our past, our present, and our future. And I was upfront with everyone. I said, you know what? When I created You Define Wellness, there was nothing altruistic about it. Mm-hmm. It was to create a product for people to get massage therapy through one of the nation's largest massage franchises, because I had a connection there. And my intent was to sell them my idea and create a job for myself. There was nothing altruistic about it. But I met with someone who was the founder of one of the largest massage franchises, dynamite woman. And she gave me the courtesy of a meeting to review my business plan. And she said, Denise, you have to do this. You absolutely have to do this. And then 6 pivotal words that changed my life. You're setting your sights too low.
Interesting.
And she had one thought, which was to get all the massage therapy franchise companies together to compete against the largest out there. But on the drive home, I realized that, that was a great business idea, and I could make a boatload of money putting it together. But I'd be hurting my own husband, who's an independent massage therapist.
Yeah.
And all the independents that are out there. And why don't I set my sights just a little bit higher than where I was and create something where we invite all wellness practitioners to be a part of it and support the independents and say to the franchises, thank you, but no thank you. This is for independents. So we don't allow the franchises now.
Mm-hmm. No, I think that's very sound because the franchises, they're out there already.
Yeah.
We know about them, but
Yeah.
it's the other practitioners that need to be recognized and validated.
We need to, the only way to compete against the large franchises, and I don't mean to bash on them. I mean, they've been very successful,
Right.
but they're defining wellness for America through their TV advertising.
Yes.
And there are those who I've spoken to, let's say Reiki practitioners, who are like, well, no, that doesn't impact me. Yeah, it does. And the only way to compete against this national dominance in the big pockets is to make our world bigger. And there are something in the neighborhood of 432,000 independent health and wellness professionals in the United States. I think that's kind of a bigger world.
That is a bigger world. Thank you for recognizing that.
Yes.
No, this is fantastic. And so with the employers, how are you finding, how are they receiving this?
We're just launching to employers, and I feel as though I've been saying that for 3 years, and I think I have. But the fact is we really haven't been ready for them. The employers are responsive, particularly the large employers. I'm talking big, big employers. And the reason is, although we are not a corporate wellness program by the traditional definition of it, their corporate wellness programs are failing. They are and that is not just Denise talking. You can Google it and you can find out. You read all the reports that are out there about it. What they're finding is 24% of their employees are participating. 76 are not. And back in the day when I was in college, a 24% grade was an F. And that's how the people running these corporate wellness programs that are employees of the company, the human resource manager, the wellness committee members, they're being graded at an F level. And they're frustrated and they're looking at this and going, oh my gosh, let's see, you're going to do all the work. Our employees will have choice, which is what they're screaming for. And we're going to still be delivering wellness education and we can still do some of our other stuff. I mean, we can turn it over to you and you're going to take over? Yes, you can. We'd be happy to do it. And they're all over it. But I can't accommodate the large employers. We have right now about 220, 230 wellness practitioner locations in our network, mostly in Colorado, some in the sprinkling throughout the United States. But we can't accommodate those employers until we have a nationwide network and we have at least 1,000 providers in Colorado alone. And my goal is to have 1,000 on average nationwide in every single state. That will change things. That's when the employers will be, oh yeah, this is a no-brainer, and write the check. It will also mean that when that happens, that there will be competitors for me in the marketplace, but none of them can deliver what we have created for the providers in terms of 100% of normal retail rates, building the community. Most plans out there of any type that have a network of professionals, building community within those professionals is not their objective. Their objective is the non-altruistic one, and that's selling their plan. Ours is provider-centered. It's consumer-centered. And everything that we do starts with first question, does it help or hurt the provider? Second question, does it help or hurt the consumer? Third question is, does it help or hurt you to find wellness? And all three of those have to be help, or else we don't proceed forward. And so that's not what corporate America will be doing when they launch a lookalike plan.
True. And so how are you branching out to these other cities? Like, what is your process when you reach a new market?
Good question. There is no rule book, so we're creating it as we go along.
Good point. Nobody's ever done this before.
They haven't. It's things like this, speaking with you on a podcast. It is getting people who see the opportunity in a geographic area and say, I want that. what can I do to help make it happen? Because if it's up to Denise to do it in every market, it's not going to happen. I can't spread myself that thin. And while I have a team, we need feet on the street. So it's getting groups of providers, perhaps networking groups. Almost every city has one. It's getting them to be talking about it and saying, hey, this sounds like something we want to do here. It's finding salespeople in every region who can be our sales director or our director for the state to say, I'm going to help lead the effort to get the providers, but also to get the employers on board. I think the Healthy Living Savings Card is what's really going to branch us out nationwide first. Mm-hmm. And then as we get an employer who has employees in a geographic area, that's really where we're going to be focusing on building a network from the corporate side of us. And I did that for 10 years. I was the national sales director and a consultant to an optometrist-owned vision plan, which is kind of a form of a wellness plan. That's where I got my experience. And as I got an employer on board that had employees in Wichita, Kansas, and, upstate New York, we would go to those areas and recruit the doctors to join our network so we could accommodate those employees. And then we would focus on building in the entire state. And that's how we're going to do it here too.
Oh, good. So it really helps that you had that lengthy career in insurance and you have you have the chops.
This is not an idea that is new. I've talked to hundreds and hundreds of wellness professionals now over the years, and so many of them have said to me, I thought of doing the same thing. Some of them even tried, but they got lost in the weeds. Mm-hmm. And I happen to have a belief system that there's no new ideas. Things bounce around in the universe until it finally lands on the person who can manifest it. And I think that's what happened in that meditation that day, is that it was just like, you know how to go about doing this. A lot of people are thinking about it. We kind of need to address it. So would you please take this on? Right. And so I feel very spirit-led in this whole endeavor.
Well, that's what it sounds like. And when things are, when the energy is lined up and the idea is downloaded in a way, because it sounds like what you received.
That's what I call it.
Yeah, it's a download. Absolutely. And when those things come together, things just move along effortlessly. So perhaps it took somebody who had that background, that particular background and that particular drive.
And we wouldn't be where we are today without the healers of the world speaking up. And I like to say that we're the Can We company, or What If company. And because everything we do came about from somebody saying something like, I want to take my expertise into the workplace and do lunch and learns, but I don't know how to go about doing it. I do. So we created an education catalog that has, I think, 64, maybe 65 topics created by our providers. And some of them are available worldwide as webinars.
Wonderful.
Yeah, it's exciting. It's very exciting.
Very exciting. Yeah, because as you know, we've talked about this. I do corporate wellness as well. Mm-hmm. And, it's just getting the foot in the door and knowing who to talk to and how to get it set up. I mean,
exactly.
Many organizations, many large companies have some sort of aspect of corporate wellness, as you said, and they're open to having speakers, but they're kind of limited to who's in their network.
And they don't have the time to go fishing around. It's for a independent wellness professional, they can probably get in the door with a lot of companies, particularly smaller companies, by offering a class for free and just having, go knocking on doors and saying, hey, I'm a provider in the area. I have a chiropractic office down the street. I do a talk about, 5 ways to de-stress at your desk and teach stretching exercises and things like that. I love to come in and do that talk for free for your employees. They're going to get a lot of doors open to them and say, sure, we'd love to have you come in. And that's a business exposure opportunity. But the thought of doing that is terrifying to most wellness professionals. You open your doors because you're passionate about what you do, but you throw the doors open and nobody's standing there and you're like, oh my gosh, now what? I actually wrote a book called Hey Clients, Where Are You?
did.
Yes, for wellness professionals, because
It.
that's what I was experiencing after talking with and knowing thousands of optometrists for 10 years. And they did the same thing. They'd hang out their shingle. They'd invest hundreds of thousands of dollars into technology. And just by hanging out a shingle, they thought everybody would in the neighborhood be coming knocking at their door.
And that's not how it works.
No, not how it happens. You got
Right.
to get out there.
You do. You have to grow your network, and it's constant recruiting, retaining clients, reaching out. It's a lot of time, effort, and money
Yes.
goes into it.
My mantra these days is especially when somebody comes to me with a new idea that they want to implement, is like, okay, success boils down to three things: people, time, and money. It's all people, time, and money. Everything is people, time, and money. So we need people. We need a lot of people. We need a lot of people talking about us. We need a lot of people stepping up and saying, I want to help get this movement going in my area, as we have someone in your area that's doing it. And that's how you and I met.
Yeah.
We have people in other parts of the nation who say they want to do it, but they're not ready to make the leap. I've had people contact me and say, hey, I love what you're doing. I want to start this in my state, which is something like this. Would you teach me how to do what you're doing so I can open my own business here? And it's like, I wouldn't wish that on you. Trust me. Why don't you align with us instead? And you can be my state director and go under the banner of what we've been creating for 3 years. And they're like, oh, okay.
Right.
Why recreate the model? We've already got it done. And
Exactly.
yeah.
Why reinvent the wheel?
Exactly.
The wheels in motion.
Yeah.
No, that's fantastic. Now you've mentioned a couple of times this discount card.
Yes.
One of the products. It sounds so exciting. I think I have a handle on it, but I would love to hear you explain it.
Okay. So individuals, retirees, self-employed have been coming to me for 3 years saying, I love what you're doing. I believe in alternative and holistic. There are no solutions for me. Can I sign up on your plan that you have, your employee benefit plan? It doesn't work that way. Our plan must be employer subsidized. That's the only way that this model works. So I knew that I needed to create something. And literally a couple of weeks ago, it was, you know what, why don't you just go ahead and do a discount card, which was against everything that I had wanted to do in terms of letting providers know that, you'll make your 100% of your normal retail rates. And I realized that what I was really saying to them was, you control your income. You decide how much money you're going to be receiving based on your normal retail rates. And so now we're offering this discount card. We're putting all the pieces of the puzzle together. It'll be ready for market June 1st. We're building our provider network right now so that wellness professionals can offer a discount. For example, my husband, the very first person who signed up to be on the card as provider, and he better have been, is offering a 20% discount on a 1-hour massage. He offers other services in his practice, but that's what he chose to do, and he set the discount. I have somebody else who, proprietary products only, so we do not allow MLMs in because I can't have 1,000 of one company's distributors in my network. Proprietary products. I have a company here locally that they are in my provider network for psychotherapy services, but she also happens to have a CBD company. So she's offering 15% discount on her CBD products. Mm-hmm. I have a gluten-free bakery coming on board, a rafting excursion trip. We have a company that, online retailers. I have someone out of Michigan who sells jewelry and flower essence oils and crystals and other things. We have a few metaphysical bookstores that will be signing up. It's unlimited. Anyone that has anything to do with health and wellness that is an online retailer, really I'm looking for the self-employed, the entrepreneurs. They can be a fairly large company. I just don't want those ones that are advertising on TV. Yeah. And giving people access to the things that they're already believing in, and why not get a discount on it? So the discounts will vary. I think the lowest one I have right now is a 20% discount. Mm-hmm. It just is up to the provider as to what they want to come up with.
Right. And so what market is that first launching in your area?
The United States of America.
Really? So a nationwide discount card.
That is the intent. I'm getting the clearances I need right now from Colorado, and that's paving the way for all the other states. We actually, I believe, this is not words from my attorney. I believe that if we're offering it online, it's one thing, but if I'm trying to sell it in person at an event like a wellness expo, then I have other hoops that I have to jump through. But it will be available online purchase, and we are not controlling right now who can and cannot. But in Colorado, I'm in discussions with the Attorney General's office just to get those clearances, and they cover discount cards. So we just have some clearances, and that's why we're giving ourselves a few months' time. Our marketing materials are in the process of being developed. I got the proposal this morning as to what the cost is going to be. So it's going to be a slam dunk, and we're going to do almost all of our marketing online. And my goal is to launch with 500 providers in our Healthy Living Savings Card directory, and I've got a good head start on it because I have 230 providers right now in our network, and they have to opt in and say, yes, I want to also offer a discount for those who have it. It's not an automatic mandatory thing that I'm making them do.
Right. No, that's understandable. And so the employee benefit side of it,
Mm-hmm.
that is beginning there in your area.
Yes.
And when will it be available in other areas, like say Kansas City, where we are based?
As soon as I have a provider network established. In my world of asking which came first, the chicken or the egg, in this case, it's the providers. And even in Colorado, we have a few areas that we're working hard to build up. As an example, Colorado Springs. I have 4 providers on the ground in Colorado Springs. I have a bunch more that can work with people anywhere in the world. So technically, my directory is larger than that for that area. And I have employers who are interested, but they won't buy something with 4 people in their area.
Right.
So we're doing some launch meetings in other areas of Colorado over the next couple of weeks, but we can do those also virtually by technology, which I love Zoom, to build provider networks in other geographic areas. I believe Kansas City will be our next area where we will actually launch the product. We do have to have some regulatory hoops that we still are jumping through in Kansas and Missouri, just to make sure that we're not in violation of any laws. Even though we're not an insurance plan, we still have to get my requirement is that we have to get it signed off by the Division of Insurance in every state, so that we know that we're not under their jurisdiction.
Exactly.
And then we also have to go to the state attorney general just to get verification as well, because they have rules regarding discount cards. And we just want to make sure that we're in compliance with every single state. So while we're building the provider network, we'll get the clearances within the states. There's always a workaround, even if they throw us a hiccup. Always a workaround, and we get launched. So the big thing is getting a solid network in a geographic area and the presence, and then we start working on building the employer database.
Right. Oh, that's wonderful. So as a provider and knowing many providers here in my area, and I know that there are listeners around the world in various wellness communities, what can we do as providers and practitioners to help you?
Number one, talk about what we're doing. I mean, not just provider to provider, but tell your clients, hey, there's a program coming out to help you believe in this. Talk to your employer and say, there's an employee benefit program coming out. We really want it on board. Now, if I had an employer come to me and say, hey, we're putting this in place, I'll have a provider network that quick.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. But it's a really hard sell to get those employers on board. So that's why we're focusing on the providers. So number one, talk about it. Number two, listen. When I say we, it's typically me and the mouse in my bra, as my dad used to say. I have videos out there where I have talked about the You Define Wellness model, but go to our website. There is a lot of information on it. I have YouTube videos that talk about You Define Wellness and what we're doing to manifest change. And this is more about helping the wellness industry for both the professionals, the ones giving the care, and the ones receiving the care. And that little voice in my head also came back many months after I launched this and said, oh, by the way, Denise, this isn't yours to own. This is yours to grow. And yes, I own a majority interest in it, but I do have other investors. And I just took that as the universe and spirit and God, or whatever word you want to put to it, saying to me, we gave you this gift. You're creating it, but you're going to give it back. Right. And so that's the intent, is when I step down and retire, is that this will be opened up to the wellness professionals. So every decision we're making has those wellness professionals in mind. And I say that because I want people to understand that what we're creating is not for Denise's pocket. Right. It is for making it better for the caregivers and the care receivers. And I'll be fine when I walk away. I have no doubt about that. Mm-hmm. And my next step after I leave here is we're setting up a nonprofit to provide holistic support services at crisis at the workplace. And that's my next step, is to go and work in the nonprofit that we're building.
Oh, that is so exciting. That is so exciting. You've got so many things up in the air. How do you have time and energy for all of it?
It's, whatever priority is first. And right now the priorities and everything balances out. Yes, you have a lot of things, but then it's not constant working, like the Healthy Living Savings Card. I've got to get this part done, but then there's a pause and a gap. Okay, now I can work on the crisis team. And then there's pause and a gap. And now I can work with the employers. It has been working nonstop for about 3 years. I'm a little tired. It's time for a little self-care and a break. Mm-hmm. And absolutely, because I've been going at warp speed. But the more we talk, the more we get the people involved, and people, time, and money. The more people we get involved, the more that we can have people stepping up and saying, I want to take over this project and make it happen. From events for corporate decision makers to a new Facebook group that we're launching next month called Healers Connecting with Cancer Patients, where the healers in our network can provide the education that cancer patients and their caregivers are looking for other options and to learn about it. And so we're looking for people to step up and say, yeah, this is what I want to do. And it's happening. Just this morning, I had a message from someone who does not qualify to be a provider in our network, and just said, look, if you ever have any events in my area, I just want to let you know I'm going to be signing up to be a volunteer at it because I really want to support what you're doing. Is that okay?
I love it.
Sure.
Yes, please. Yeah. That sounds amazing. And you are doing monthly events in your area. Can you talk a bit about that?
Yes. One of the other things providers were saying as we were putting together this program that completely was non-altruistic at the beginning, was saying, I want to connect with other wellness professionals. Not more than just going to a networking meeting and you exchange business cards. I mean, connecting. Yes. And so we've been building a community, and part of it is through some meetup groups that we have. And we also have associated Facebook pages for them that anybody can join. And one is called Prosperous Wellness Practitioners, and it's just for wellness practitioners. You will not have any insurance agents in this group, or mortgage guys. It's just to connect. And we put on events, and we have an event later this morning that we're bringing someone in, and it's all about healing the healers at this event that we're doing today. And then we have some online events as well for those who are outside of our area. And then the other group is called the Wellness Experience, and it's a place for wellness practitioners to promote their events in the community so that those in the community who are interested in health and wellness events can easily find them, because I got a little tired of finding them all over the universe.
Oh, yes. Now, are those going to be available outside your market soon?
The Facebook pages are currently available. Anybody can participate in them. I sincerely believe that eventually we will have one set up for each geographic area and under the umbrella of it. And the intent is somebody needs to step forward and say, I want to lead that. I want to lead your meetup group in my area. Meetup has a fee involved, and for having meetup groups, we're absorbing that. And so it's one way to start a meetup group with under somebody else's umbrella.
I think that's a wonderful idea. And I really look forward to working with you more on all of this stuff.
Yes, me too.
Wonderful. So, where can people get in touch with you? Like, what is your website?
Okay.
What are the Facebook groups?
We have a lot of Facebook groups. My website's the easy one. It is you, as in YOU, definewellness.com. Because that's what we're all about, is for the individual to define wellness on their own terms, not by us. So that's the primary place. If you go to our website, there's tons of information. You can also go to our Facebook page for You Define Wellness, and you'll find events that we're doing. Our online events are on there as well. Some of our meetup group events are on there, and there's not as much communicating on it, but it's a great way to connect with us as well. Or just reach out to me through our website. Our Connect Us goes straight to my email.
Yeah, you're very easy to schedule with and approach, and just talk to everybody. So that's absolutely fantastic. And I really encourage everybody who's listening to this to get in touch with Denise. Look at the website. This is an amazing, exciting product and an amazing and exciting concept. And I really thank you for bringing it into the world, Denise. Now, is there anything that you'd like to leave us with? Anything maybe we haven't talked about? What maybe an important takeaway?
I think the most important takeaway that I have is honoring individuality and individual choice. And that's the premise of our company, is that we do honor all decisions. We also honor all faiths. We honor all wellness choices. And understanding that all of this goes into creating one big world, and that we can sit side by side. It's not about competition. It's about serving. And that's our mission.
Beautiful mission. Beautiful mission. Thank you so much, Denise, for sitting down and talking with me. It's been an absolute joy, and just so excited to help spread the word about You Define Wellness.
Well, thank you for inviting me to be on it. It was so exciting. I've been talking about this all week.
Oh, have you really?
Yes.
I love that. I love that. Good. We'll talk to you soon then.
Radiate Wellness is a community of holistic and alternative healers and consultants based in the Kansas City area, dedicated to helping you create spiritual, energetic, and physical well-being. To learn more about our practitioners, services, classes, and events, or to schedule an appointment, visit us at radiatewellnesscommunity.com.